Always splitting his units into two groups as well. But Rogue takes that first game, a very close game, a very tight game there. And now we're going into set 2. Set 2 is going to be on Expedition Lost, a map that is for a long time been considered a Zerg map. Rogue already with the 1-0 momentum here. The players are in the lobby. Let's see if Rain can hold on here and bring us to a tied 1-1 score, or if Rogue is going to get that extra momentum and take the 2-0. This is the SBENU Star League Season 3. My name is Wolf. The map is loaded, ladies and gentlemen. And it is time for game number 2, Rain versus Rogue. To the top right, in red, our Protoss player, Rain. To the bottom left, in blue, it's Rogue, currently up 1-0 in this series. Says that Rain, which is, the word there uses, may create a Korean sentence that says Rain makes a sexy boy even sexier. What that sign says. Rogue now up 1-0 in this series. This time to place a normal hatchery. Does not attempt for the hatch block. Rain considers a forge. Decides to go for instead an Nexus first. Out of fear of this, Rogue will scout, although no. He's going to go for a double hatch before pool blind. With this, he will also see if there's any hidden proxy gateways. The timing is definitely a little bit too early, but I understand why he might want to do this. If the probe is coming out to potentially cannon or fake a cannon, it comes out a lot earlier. And if he does something like this, the probe will scout the drone at that moment. There's a higher chance. So if he sends it earlier, that probe that might be coming to fake the cannon will definitely not see it at that time. The Overlord does see this probe coming down, and there is a forge. And without a spawning pool, a late cannon here is absolutely possible. If he's able to realize, aka scout, the late pool timing here, he might actually commit to some pylons. Currently at 18 probes, he can absolutely afford them. But based on his movements here, it looks like he's just going to be content with scouting, that it is a late pool, and will not attempt any such cannoning. You can see Rogue is concerned about this potential. Sends a drone, not only to his natural, but also to his third base, just to get full knowledge. Because just because you scout the first probe coming across the map doesn't mean there's not a third one, or one rather at your third. Anyone who's played enough ZVPs on the ladder could tell you that. Anyone who's played against me on the ladder could tell you that. Now, the gateway is finished. We're going to see a cybernetics core. So far, totally gasless, of course, from Rogue. He wants to drone up as quickly as possible. He wants to use all those extra minerals to continue to clean production. 3 hatches, so he can hit all of his injects, really make up for the early deficit. You know, when you spend 300 minerals on your third hatch, you lose a little bit of production, obviously, but you make up for it as soon as the hatchery finishes. You have extra larva production. You have extra saturation once all 3 bases are saturated. And you kind of explode in economy. But it is a bit of a slower wind-up. So your gas obviously does get taken a bit later. And then, of course, to make up for that, oftentimes you will see a player take 2 gases, which is what Rogue is doing now. These 2 squads of Lings can come over here and actually start working on the ice. Rain has placed a pylon to spot for this, a safety pylon. It does have vision of that ice. This is not to say that Rogue is going for an aggressive strategy at the ice. It just means that he's threatening it. The Stalker should come over and ward these things away. But, you know, it's that threat. It means the Stalker's not at the front. It's that pressure. And also, it means that later on, should this ice become a viable opportunity to attack, it's already weakened significantly. Come over there and get through it a lot faster. That Overlord is coming nearby and actually will scout. At 2 games in a row, Rain has gone for robotics play. There you go. He sees it. And the Lings are still getting damaged onto that ice. Actually looks like they've re-rallied now towards the main base because the Stalker's out of position. That Overlord should escape. Oh, one more shot will do it, though. Second the Overlord dies, 3 additional gates. And a second Sentry. We're going to see some Sentry Warp Prism aggression yet again here in Game 2. With 4 gases, you can actually warp in a ton of those expensive Stalker Sentry units. Enough Sentries to continue force fielding the ramp, should Rain decide to go for that version. Or, you know, just simply additional Stalkers at the third base to continue to do damage and overwhelm small Ling counts. 10 drones just produced here for Rogue, because at 46, defending something like this is going to be difficult. He wants to get his drone count as high as possible before he starts making units so that he can continue to make a stream of units. Look at this. Look at that Patrol Ling Scout. She's the exact rally, the exact waypoint of this Warp Prism. It's now going to come over. 16 Lings on the map. 2 Sentries in the Prism. Re-rallying it, rerouting it towards the main base, but again spotted. Look at this Overlord placement. Oh, he's going to trap. He's going to force field into the main regardless, but it's not a good force field. Still, this should be enough Lings to kill the Sentries. One gets rescued into the Prism. The second one does fall. Zealot's actually helping to zone these Lings away from the mineral line. And now the Queen helping out as well. This is a failed harassment. Not enough damage here. But, you know what? He stopped Ling production. It's actually going into Hydras. He's going to need those out as the Ling Spade. He warps in a few more Zealots, forcing units off of the mineral line. Now that Prism could actually pick up and send these units to the third base. Good target on that Sentry. And good micro here, good splits on these Hydras to eliminate the last of these Zealots. No third base. No third base whatsoever for Rain. Look at his bank. Looking very weak at this point in time. Going for a +2. Blink Stalker follow-up, but without a third base, it's going to be much weaker. Without even the fake of a third base, it's very obvious. And already Rogue expects a second Warp Prism follow-up. He's actually going to try to intercept it with these Stalkers, or rather with these Hydras. Rain is going to be hard-pressed to make this work. He does have 4 gases, so if you look at this right now, you might be like, well, he doesn't have enough gas to make this happen. It's coming. They're actually committed to a robotic support bay instead of doing the 2-base timing with Blink Stalker and Sentry +2. He is going to poke with that a little bit, see if he can find some damage. But the bigger follow-up is going to be with those Colossi. Now, should he determine that the Colossi cannot do critical damage, he can use them to secure a third base. And Blink gives him this extra mobility. We've seen this type of push a lot. The 1 Warp Prism attacking the third, and a group of Blink Stalkers is attacking the ice with a Warp Prism for recall potential. Burrow is on the way. Going to help him with these harasses. Hydra speed now on the way. Range. Checking is completed. +1 for the Hydras not long off. Thermal Lance and the first Colossus are on the way. No Nexus. The Ling continuing to check the third base on patrol. Constant Chrono Boost on that Colossus production. Rain is trying to find an opportunity with this Warp Prism, but he's being shut down at every turn. Rain's coverage right now, his vision, is really, really nice. Loses vision on the Watchtower, but look, his creep is nearly there. 4 Zealot drop in the main. There is a Spine, and a few Hydras about to spawn. Good control on the Queen here. He will get a few kills, but it's not enough. Rain really struggling to set up for a follow-up. He really wants to cripple the economy so his follow-up attack is stronger. Now, one thing he has done successfully in this game is he has forced a pure Hydra Ling response to what looks to be a blunt, obvious Blink Stalker +2 attack. But he's forced what his Colossi counter. The only question is, does Rogue just have too many Hydras? Oh, we want some Mothership Core so bad, he's not going to get it. But he does force a recall and kills a few more of these Zealots. Now this Spire could be for one of two things. One response here at this point would just be to try to spend his bank on Corruptors. Get those Corruptors out, deal with those Colossi from an angle, and win the game. The other response is to try to hold this off and then go into Mutalisk. Both are good responses. Now, remember what I just said. Those two Colossi with range do counter these Hydras. The question is, are there just simply too many Hydralisks? And can he get the engagement he wants? With only one Time Warp available, or one recall on that Mothership Core, things get a little bit more difficult. These Hydras want to get to the concave at the bottom of the ramp, but they have to defend two locations. The main base and the natural. The ice is down. He's coming in. He's got a Warp Prism for reinforcements. One Spine Crawler at the ready. But look at this concave of Hydralisks. He's just trying to buy time. The Spire is not ready. Spire is not ready. The additional Warpman of Blink Stalkers a +2. Hydra's still only at +1. Link's doing some buffering here, but with those force fields, the Hydra still cannot engage. Such patience here from Rogue. Okay, now coming in with a surround of Hydralisks. I think he just has simply too many. The Colossi are the answer, but not if they can't get their full AoE. A good force field here on the drones, but it looks like Rogue may have too much. However, those drones start to fall, and a huge warping of Stalkers. Where are the rest of those Hydralisks? 12 more on the way. The Mothership Core does fall. Excellent micro here on that Colossus. 21 kills. And has Rain done it? He needs to buy time with these Spine Crawlers. 18 Hydralisks are on the way. This game is by no means over. Spine Crawlers here not doing damage. They're buying time. Drones trying to consider to fight or not. 5 more Stalkers warping in. The drone's tanking a lot here as the Hydras do damage from behind. Okay, he gets up the ramp with those Hydras. Coming in here, these Stalkers, some of them are very low. But good Blink Stalker micro, and that Colossus with 28 kills is the backbone of this army. It finally does fall. This is such a close game right now. The Hydras do move forward, stutter stepping on top of these Stalkers. A few more coming in, a few more Lings, and +2 is about to finish. The reinforcement power here is waning. He has to pick up and leave. And now the supplies, 59 to 47. The worker count, 47 to 24. Rain lost a lot of power. He lost a lot of expensive units, but he has twice the economy. He has twice the economy of Rogue right now. Rogue now has to make difficult choices. Is Rain just going to continue to warp in and do a follow-up attack and kill me? Or is he going to try to take a third base? That patrolling link at the third is so important. But if Rain just simply continues to attack him and he's droning, he'll lose the game. So even though he has 29 harvesters, the natural sort of line of thinking is, I need to drone. But if he drones, he might die. 4 Stalker drop here, denying mining. The already limited mining here of Rogue at the natural. The main base is not mining at all. Ooh, good use of Contaminate on that Robotics. Denying Colossus build time. 1 Mutalisk on the way, a smart choice to help shut down this Warp Prism, but already so much damage being done. And down it goes. A nice Queen Snipe, and the Stalkers likely to escape. With 1 more blink. And away they go. 47 probes to 29 drones. 3 bases to 2. Even the third base of Rogue, keep in mind, there's a double hatch before pool. The third base is mining out. As is Rain's main and natural. This next engagement is going to be the most important, and I don't feel Rogue has been able to muster enough forces to deal with this. There are more Stalkers on the map than there are Hydras, and there's Colossus support. This is why Starcraft is an economy-based game. If you can do that damage, it's so hard to recover, especially as a Zerg. They don't have mules. He's even bringing the probes. He knows this is do or die, and most likely it will be a do, but he's engaging up to the top of a ramp, top of a concave here against Hydras. The best engagement Rogue could have hoped for, but even with the concave, Colossus range and blink, could it be enough to push this back? And we'll secure him game number 2. Rain ties it up. Rain with some creative play there. Down but not out. A solid hold by Rogue, but he lost too many drones. It begs the question, did he fight with his drones too early? Should he have given up his main base to keep his drones alive? And then, pull the drones out, let him have the main base, and then, with his better Hydra count, come back. If you do that, though, and the Protoss warps in even one sentry and force fields you out, you're going to lose all of your tech that's in the main base. You're going to lose your spawning pool. So it's a tough choice to make. Protoss is always going to be a good position from there. 2 base versus 2 base. Just keeps force fielding you, keeps poking with his Colossi. Well, I believe we are going to go to a commercial break in just a moment. I'm wrong. Rogue took a bathroom break. You say he came from America. Go SBENU. We got fans from all over the world coming down to the studio today. For good reason. Our final 2 round of 4 players will be decided. Now when it comes to interviews we had before the match, Rain was not very confident. Rain has often been